All right. So finding a nice comfortable seat and just taking a moment here to kind of land on your yoga mat, start to pay attention to your body. So just any movement here that feels good, rolling shoulders, stretching arms any way that feels good. And then just coming to a nice comfortable seat. So peek to see that legs are about hip distance apart. You want to have your ankles underneath your knees. You can always slide a blanket underneath your feet if you need. And then just make sure that you're pressing into your sit bones. You, of course, can be forward in your chair. That's nice if you're trying to get into the core a little more right away. You can also be sitting back in your chair, which also can feel really nice, kind of a mellower start. So see what feels best for you today. And then go ahead and close your eyes here. And take a nice deep inhale through the nose. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go. And we're going to do that a few more times. So filling up with each inhale. And then exhaling the breath out, maybe exhaling out any stress, the Monday blues, anything that happened during the weekend that you want to let go of it. So in effect, just kind of telling the brain that you're ready to get quiet, to check in, to start to move and breathe and pay attention. And as you feel ready, you start to find that rhythm of your Ujjayi breath. So inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your nose, gently constricting the sides of your throat. So you're creating this soft rush of air. Observe if perhaps the inhale feels easier for you today. Maybe the exhale feels easier. Maybe they both feel pretty nice and even. Move in that direction if you're not there yet. Observe if tension is creeping back into your shoulders. Are they starting to lift up towards your ears? If that's you, allow them to soften down. Welcome, Amy. And then just also notice how your attention starts to wander from time to time. You start to attach to sounds happening in the room that you're in. And you start to attach to thoughts coming in and out of your mind. So that's all fine. The brain just likes to go there. When it does, and when you become aware of that, however, come back to your breath, let that all go. So really giving yourself permission to be quiet, to be still. Just another moment or two here. Go ahead and blink your eyes open here. And then as you inhale, shrug your shoulders up towards your ears. Create some tension, hold the breath. And then exhale, let it go. So a few more times like that. Inhaling, shoulders up towards ears. Ooh, and then let it go. And just notice how good that feels. A couple more times. And let's bring our hands to our thighs and just start to rock around. Just making some circles here. They can be big, they can be small, a little of both. You can get the shoulders, the neck, the head involved. And just start to switch directions. Really nice work. Making your way back to center. And then let's just take this right into our cat-cow. So if you need to make any little adjustments in your seat, you can do that. This might be a place where you want to come forward in your chair a little bit. We're going to inhale, rock forward on our sit bones. So you're arching a lot in your lower back, lumbar, cobra feeling in the upper body. As you exhale, you pull your belly button towards your spine. Let your chin release towards your chest. Inhaling, arching. Nice work. As you exhale, you round in. You're going to continue like this. Eyes might be closed here. If they're open, you're just finding a nice, soft, gentle gaze. You're not looking around. You're paying attention to how everything is feeling in your spine today. Really nice. An option to continue like this, if you want to start to add arms, as you inhale, you can stretch one arm forward and up, any amount. And then exhale, release down. Inhale, the opposite arm. Exhale, release. And just continuing like that. Really enjoying how it feels to connect the movement with the breath. So finding this nice little cadence, this rhythm. Let's do a couple more to each side. Beautiful work. So you're going to finish up probably on your left side. Just make sure that you're nice and even. Good. And then just come back to nice, tall seat, your Tadasana, your mountain pose. And let's stretch out the fingers and the wrists a little bit today. So we're going to reach our right arm forward, and then you're going to just use your left hand. Few seconds each finger, pulling back any amount that feels good. You might not have to go very far at all. So especially if you spend any amount of time on a computer, this can be really, really intense. This is a good one to do several times a week, actually, or even, daily when you think about it. It can be quite an intense stretch in the fingers, in the forearm. Notice right now if your shoulders are creeping up towards your ears, soften them down. So just sitting tall with relaxed shoulders. Good work. And then you can switch hands when you get there. Maybe noticing if one side feels a little different than the other. A lot of us are right-handed, so sometimes it can be a little tighter on that side. Good. And when you're done, you can just release your arms by your side, make some circles with your wrists. You can make a fist here. Just go several times, both directions. Good. And then let's give the hands, the fingers, a nice little vigorous shake out. Good. And then just go ahead and release. Let's roll the shoulders back again a few times. All right. So hands can be on thighs or by your sides, whatever feels good. We're going to get into the neck here. So you're going to start to release your chin down towards your chest. Starting out, this is always really, really intense. The neck wants to hold and grip. So do your best to send the breath to that spot to help you open things up. It will be more intense if you have the arms by your side. You're kind of using gravity there to help you get a little more length through the sides of your neck, the back of the neck. If that just feels like too much, hands on thighs is a really good adjustment. Good, let's inhale, lift our chin up. And then exhale, start to tilt your right ear towards your right shoulder. You're going to feel this intense sensation through the left side of the neck. So if you want a little more, you're really energetically reaching through those left fingertips. If you need a little less, hand is resting on your thigh. And you're keeping the breath smooth and steady. Welcome back, Tammy. All right, so start to tuck your chin. Keep that right ear reaching towards the right shoulder. Take a nice deep inhale. And then as you exhale, come back to center. And then just take a few breaths there. So our second time being here, how does it feel? Is it different already? The back of the neck starting to open, just noticing what's going on in your body. Breath is smooth and steady. As we inhale, chin lifts. And then exhale, lean your left ear towards your left shoulder. So feeling that intense sensation through the right side of the neck. A little more, you're reaching through those right fingertips. A little less, you're placing that right hand on your thigh. Sending the breath to the spots where you're getting a lot of sensation. Good. And then just start to release your chin down here. Take a nice deep inhale. And then as you exhale, do that little quarter circle. Back to center. Couple of breaths. Feel the shoulder blades release down your back. Feel this stretch, this openness across your heart. Releasing the back of the neck. Deep inhale. And then this time, keeping the chin tucked as you exhale. Right ear towards the right shoulder. Nice work, everybody. As you exhale, come back to center. Inhale, left ear towards left shoulder. Good. Exhale. Back to center. And then let's just continue like that. So again, I want you to move with your breath, kind of stretching things out, slowing it down. Getting into the neck here. We carry so much tension. So this can be really, really intense. These muscles, it's almost like they're just trained to hold on and to grip all the time. So it can be really challenging to train them to let go. Really start to pay attention to what that feels like when that's happening. And the next time you're on your right side, you're going to hang out there. So right ear towards right shoulder. Release the shoulder blades down when you get there. And then this time, if you'd like to add your right hand to the top of your head, you're welcome to do that. If you go there and it just feels way too intense, you skip it. And sometimes we have to try things too before we know if that's the case in our bodies on any given day. Good. Release that right arm down. Keep the chin tucked. Exhale to center. And then inhale. Off to the left. Shoulder blades releasing down. Feeling that stretch to the right side. And then if you want to add your left hand gently to the top of your head here, you're welcome to take that variation. Good. Release that left hand down. Chin stays tucked. Exhale back to center. And then again, just a few breaths here. So hopefully this is the most open the back of the neck is feeling. You're feeling a little sense of release and lengthening. Good. As you inhale, come back to center. Nice work, everybody. So let's get into the hips a little bit here. So our seated pigeon pose, taking your right ankle across your, just above your left knee, your left thigh. You could also just open up this right leg here. So that's going to give you that hip opening, that external rotation too. So see what feels best for you, where you feel the most stable, and perhaps even where you're getting the best stretch. And we're going to take several breaths here. If you're in your seated pigeon, you can press your right hand down into that right thigh. It's like you're trying to release your knee closer to the floor. If you're in the version that I'm in here, kind of these warrior two legs, you can take your right hand to the inside of your right thigh, and I'm pressing back a little bit. It's just intensifying the stretch that I'm getting. And you're keeping that breath smooth and steady. Let's just give this a nice long hold today. Maybe observe if you've started to grip in other places in your body, if you're working spots that you don't need to. So again, that's often the shoulders, the face and the jaw tense up. Hands, feet can get a little rigid. So if you've tuned into some of those spots in your body, see if you can breathe a little space, a little ease there. Good, couple more good breaths. All right, so if you're in this warrior 2-leg variation, you're gonna come back upright. If you have your ankle crossed over your left thigh, just come back to your Tadasana, your mountain pose. From there, let's take a nice little twist to the right. So inhale, stretch your arms out. And let's just flow this with the breath a few times. So deep inhale. Exhale, twist to the right. Doesn't have to be very deep at all. Inhale back to center. Good. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, come back to center. Good. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale to center. And final time here as you exhale, twist to the right. And then release your hand down behind you, right hand, grab a piece of chair. Left hand can come to the outside of your right thigh or the inside of your left thigh, just kind of depending upon how your spine is feeling today, how big of a twist you enjoy. And don't think that you always have to go for it. I'm a big fan of less is more. So always more important to be listening to your body on any given day. Even though we practice these same poses over and over again, they're always a little different each time we get on our mat. It's part of why we keep showing up. All right, so you might be moving your gaze out over that right shoulder or in that direction. Notice if that right shoulder is creeping up towards your ear and see if you can soften down. How is your inhale feeling here? So in these twists, it gets a little constricted. It's hard to fill up. So do the best you can. Try to find that expansion of the rib cage in all directions. Good. One more deep inhale. As we exhale, we come back to center. And we're going to take that hip opening on the left side. So again, you can cross your left ankle above your right knee, or you can simply open up the legs. So we're essentially looking for this external rotation in the upper leg. So you just find where feels good for you today. Can look different than the other side. That's absolutely fine. And then we take several breaths here. So maybe pressing your left thigh back. If you're in the variation that I'm doing, if you're crossing left ankle above right knee, you can press down into that thigh to the extent that that feels okay in your body and it's giving you a nice stretch. If you're tighter in the hips, you're not going to have to add much because you're going to be feeling it already. Make sure that your breath is nice and rich so it hasn't gotten ragged. And sometimes it can be helpful to count the breath. So inhaling to the count of 6 or 7 or 8, and then exhaling to that same count, particularly when we're holding these poses a little longer. Sometimes that can be a helpful tool. Probably about 5 or 6 more breaths here. A nice deep inhale. Exhale, start to release. So making your way back to your Tadasana, wherever you're at. So just landing with your feet hips distance apart, knees over ankles, rooting into your sit bones. As you root there, you find that nice lengthening through the sides of your waist. As we inhale, we stretch our arms out wide. And then exhale, nice gentle twist to the left. Inhale back to center. Good. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, center, couple more. So just nice and gentle, just kind of warming up this twist here, finding a little flow. Good. And then this time, exhale, twist, grab a piece of chair behind you. Right hand comes to the outside of your left thigh or the inside of your right thigh. Shoulder heads press back. Breath smooth and steady. Inhale, really find that length through the sides of your waist and in your spine. And then maybe you move towards bringing your gaze out over that left shoulder, moving in that direction. Trying to fill up on your inhale. Good. Next exhale, unwind, come to center. And just roll the shoulders back a few times again. All right, so let's come into our eagle pose legs, so Garudasana legs. So let's take our right thigh and cross it over our left thigh. You might need to kind of bring your left foot to the midline a little bit, so adjust. Still want to feel that sensation of sit bones pressing down here. And then you're thinking outer hip squeezing in, inner thigh squeezing in towards each other. So feeling very kind of supported, engaging the lower belly here as well. And then take your arms out wide. Give yourself a hug. We're going to take the right arm underneath, so left arm on top. So elbows stack, kind of like the knees are stacking here. Just hold on to the outer edges of your shoulders. Then start to lift the elbows up. Maybe you find that arching sensation too. So you're inhaling here, maybe bringing your gaze up. And then exhale, elbows release towards belly button. You rock to the backs of your sit bones, chin towards chest. This is like a little modified cat-cow. Inhaling, lifting. Exhaling, rounding in. Just continue like that. Moving with your breath. We're just going to do a few more rounds here. Good. After your next exhale, just inhale yourself back to center. Just take our arms out wide on the inhale. Exhale, twist right. And then just another little twist here. So it's going to feel a little different with the legs crossed like this. You might feel more of more sensation in the lower right back. Just kind of notice what's going on for you here. Keep that breath smooth and steady. Perhaps bringing your gaze out over that right shoulder and moving in that direction. Good, deep inhale. Exhale to center. And then let's just do a little side stretch here. So you can hold on to your chair with your right hand. Feel the outer hip squeeze in a lot. And then take that left arm up and over. Nice. And wrapping those right ribs up towards the ceiling, maybe gazing up underneath that top arm if it feels okay to do so. Beautiful poses, everybody. Good. As you inhale, come on up. Good. And then uncross that right thigh. And we come to that second side. So left thigh over right thigh here. And by all means, too, if that's not happening in your body today, if you're just in a mountain pose Tadasana, you're going to get all of the benefits of the stuff happening in the upper body as well. So you can always modify, especially if you're watching this on YouTube and are newer to adaptive yoga, always making adjustments or even skipping certain poses if you're not quite sure. All right, so feeling outer hip squeeze in. And even if that's a sensation that you can't quite grab onto in your body, just visualizing what that might be. Does it inform how the rest of your body starts to work? Does it make you sit a little taller? Just the idea of the legs working a lot? All right, so let's take the arms out wide. Nice. And we're going to give ourselves that hug again. This time, left arm comes underneath. So elbow stack. You can just hold on to the edges of your shoulders. And we're finding just a little modified cat-cow in this configuration in our body. So as you inhale, rock forward on your sit bones. Elbows lift, gaze comes up. As you exhale, you move in the opposite direction, round in, chin to chest. Inhaling, finding that arch. Good, exhale, round in. Just a few more rounds here on your own, moving with your breath, paying attention to where you're getting sensation in your body. And just enjoying this rhythm you're creating. Get to do one more complete cycle. An inhale and an exhale. And then just inhale, come to a nice tall seat. Take your arms out wide. On your exhale, you start to twist to the left and grab a piece of chair behind you, right hand to the outside of that left thigh, shoulder heads pressed back. Maybe that left sit bone is getting a little light here. Keep anchoring evenly as much as possible. Maybe bringing your gaze out over that left shoulder. Are shoulders creeping up around ears? Can you soften them down? Are you filling up on the inhale? Good, nice deep inhale. Exhale, unwind, come back to center. Good, and then just uncross that left thigh. Find your nice Tadasana mountain pose, and let's just close our eyes here. Just take a moment to check in, see how you're feeling, see what's shifted for you so far in class. Hopefully it's feeling a little easier to get quiet and still. Good, you're gonna blink your eyes open. Let's come into our side angle pose here. So we're gonna open up this right thigh. And again, if possible in your body, and if that's not happening, it's okay if you're just keeping your legs in Tadasana. You do, if you're opening up the thigh, you just go as far as feels good in your body. You do want to make sure that you're giving yourself enough space here so that your knee is over your right ankle. So you can see it can kind of bend in. That puts a lot of pressure on the knee and the ankle. So you want that nice alignment, knee over ankle. You can keep this left knee as is. You might extend that leg to straight. You might even open that leg up a little bit. If you're going into that variation, you're going to press to the inner edge or roll to the inner edge of that left foot. Good. And then just notice if you start to hinge forward, we're actually hinging forward eventually, but just start out with your torso facing forward. So your legs are kind of doing a different thing. All right. So we have all of that wherever you're at. Inhale, stretch the arms up. And then here's where we find that hinge. So we're lengthening through this right side of our waist. It's kind of like a triangle pose here. And we're going to bring our right forearm to that right thigh. And if the forearm isn't happening, if that's too big of a fold, you can always just press into your hand too. We're lifting that left arm up. So shoulder blades are stacking on top of each other here. We're trying to find lots of length through the right side of the waist. And the same time that we're doing this, we're rolling those right ribs up. So Parsvakonasana, extended side angle pose. These look great. Super challenging pose, strong pose. Are you breathing? You could be looking down. You could be looking forward. You might even start to gaze up at that top thumb. And then let's start to reach that top arm up overhead. So coming into the full expression of the pose, the extended version. So we're getting this long line of energy through the left side. And then as you reach through those left fingertips, can you keep rolling those right ribs up? Is that left shoulder blade creeping up towards your ear? Can you soften it down your back? A few more good breaths. All right, we're going to inhale, come up, right? Let's keep our legs like this. Just give the upper body a little break here. And let's take this into our reverse warrior. So little lateral stretch in the upper body with the legs in this configuration. So a couple of options. You can reach your left hand down this left thigh. You might want to just hold on to a piece of shirt. You could even just have your hand on your hip. All are really good. And then we're going to inhale. Take that right arm up and over. We're hinging at this left hip crease. And then this time the left ribs are spinning up towards the ceiling. Maybe you're gazing up underneath that right arm. Feeling a nice, rich, deep breath. These look great. So our reverse warrior pose. You can always take breaks with your arms if you need to. We've just got a couple more breaths here. On your next inhale, upright yourself. Exhale, release your arms down. Good. Kind of feel the life come back into your shoulders. It's amazing how challenging it is to keep the arms up for a long time. It does build a lot of strength. All right, so let's reconfigure to the second side which could look a little different, your variation. That's absolutely fine. That's always okay. So finding the hip opening in this left leg. Again, it doesn't matter how far you open up. You just go to that place that feels good in your body. You do want that nice alignment, however, of knee over ankle. You could stay here like this. You could extend your right leg to straight. You can open up the hips, so kind of coming into the more classic variation of the pose. They're all great places to be. I'm going to take this variation on this side. All right, so pressing into your sit bones so you feel really anchored there. And we're going to just start out with our torso square, so facing forward, even though we're getting this hip opener in the left leg. Now inhale, stretch arms up. Nice. And then here, you hinge at this left hip crease, think length through the left side. You reach, 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 reach. And then that forearm comes to your left thigh, or maybe even hand. Both are good. Try to lengthen through the left side as you wrap those left ribs up towards the ceiling. You feel your shoulder blades stack on top of each other. You feel this nice stretch here. Lower right waist. Maybe play with bringing your gaze up if it feels okay to do so and you feel stable and safe. And you're welcome to stay here like this. Maybe you want to reach your top arm up and over. So coming into the full expression of the pose, Utthita Hasta Parsvakonasana, so extended side angle pose. Breath smooth and steady. Really nice work, everybody. Let's inhale, upright our torso, and we'll move into our reverse warrior, so kind of the opposite of where we just were. So again, right hand can be on right thigh, reaching down that leg nice and gentle. You can hold on to that piece of chair. And let's inhale, start to hinge at this right hip crease, lengthen through this left side. It's getting that beautiful lateral stretch. Get right ribs wrap up. Maybe you bring your gaze up. Feel shoulder blades releasing in towards each other. Breath smooth and steady. How does this side feel different in your body? Does it feel different? Couple more. Good. Inhale, upright. And then just start to make your way back to your mountain pose, Tadasana. So that home base pose. So let's just come into our camel pose. So a little back bending, especially opening across the thoracic. I'm going to turn my chair to the side here. So finding that nice seat, maybe scooting forward a little bit if you feel comfortable doing that. Couple of options coming into this pose. You can hold on to the edges of your chair. You can bring your hands to your hips. So see what feels good to you. If hands are coming to hips, you're squeezing the elbows in, and that, notice how that already opens up my heart and chest. I already start to get a little lift. So you're going to keep your gaze forward. You're going to root down into those sit bones. Feel your lower belly pull in and up. And then imagine that there's this wheel in your heart and it's just spinning up towards the ceiling. And then you start to bring your gaze up any amount. Perhaps even releasing your head all the way back. That can feel a little intense sometimes, like it's hard to breathe. So if you're there and you don't like it, get out of it. Couple more breaths. Good. As you inhale, come on up. Just take a breath or two here. You might get a little head rush coming out of that. Okay, so let's do one more of those Ustrasana camel poses. And again, options are to hold on to the chair, hands on hips, elbows squeezing into wherever feels good and stable in your body. And this time we're going to have the option to lift one arm up at a time if you want to go in that direction too. So same start, pressing down, lower belly's pulling in and up, really generating a lot of this movement from the upper body. So it's this big heart opener and this stretch across the pectorals. Breath smooth and steady. If you feel good here and you want to reach your right arm up, doesn't matter how far it goes, you can take a couple breaths there. Release, right arm down if you took that variation as you exhale. And then inhale, left arm. Good, exhale, release that left arm. And then inhale, come on up. And then let's just release this. So that's a lot of work sometimes in the lower back. We start to feel this pose. So let's counter that by coming into that cat stretch. Let's just hold there for a few breaths, letting your chin release towards your chest. And then just go ahead and move into a few rounds of cat-cow, moving with your breath as you feel ready and at a pace that feels good. Good. You eventually, as you feel like you've released out your lower back, you just come to your mountain pose, Tadasana, and let's do a little pranayama here. Let's do our 3-part breath, our Viloma 1 breath. So finding a nice, comfortable seat. Close your eyes. Find that rhythm of your breath, that inhale through your nose. And that exhale through your nose. So I'll take a nice deep inhale here together. Good, full, complete exhale through the nose. Completely empty out, pause at the bottom. You might feel your lower belly pull in and up a little bit. And then inhale 1/3 of the way up. So about to your belly button, pause the breath. Inhale another 1/3 of the way. So to those lower floating ribs, pause the breath. Inhale all the way up underneath your collarbones. It's that pose or that feeling that we just had in our camel pose, that lift of the sternum up towards the ceiling. Pause. Turn the air around. Exhale through your nose. And just take a couple recovery breaths when you get to the bottom. Let that go. So we'll do a couple more rounds of this. If you're newer to this, and it feels really challenging, you can just keep a smooth, steady breath, particularly on the retentions. Anytime we're holding, it feels like you need to take a breath, take one. So this definitely helps to build lung capacity, but like anything, it can take a while. Some days it's easier than others. There's all kinds of things that can factor in. Allergies, smoky air, just having one of those days. All right, so let's all take a nice deep inhale here together. Full, complete exhale through your nose, empty out. Little pause at the bottom. Inhale 1/3 of the way up, pause the breath. Inhale another 1/3 of the way, pause the breath. Inhale all the way up underneath your collarbone. See if you can do so without bringing your shoulders towards your ears. The breath is paused. And then slowly exhale the air out through your nose. Couple rounds of just normal breathing. It's kind of a little reset, letting that go. Okay, so one final round here. So nice deep inhale through your nose. Full, complete exhale through your nose. Inhale 1/3 of the way up, pause. Good, inhale another third of the way, pause the breath. Inhale all the way up underneath your collarbones, pause. And then slowly exhale the air out through your nose. Return to normal breathing. We're going to make our way to our final resting pose. So some form of Shavasana. You might just stay exactly where you're at. If you wanted to come into forward fold, sometimes that can feel really nice and relaxing, especially if there's a table or a chair in front of you. If it's available to you to come into classic Shavasana on the floor, you're always welcome to do that. Most important to slow the breath down, to give yourself permission not to worry about the to-do list just yet. So soaking up these final moments, just allowing all of the work that you've done to assimilate into your body, into your brain. And just find a place where you can be really comfortable. Asato ma satgamaya. Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya. Mrityamritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. Take a deeper inhale. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go, ha. And start to bring some movement back to your body. Wiggle fingers, toes, stretch, anything that feels good. And then just bring your palms on a pile on top of your heart. Sending yourself love and gratitude, sending each other love and gratitude. It's a gift to be able to work and practice like this together. Promise yourself that you're going to carry this good feeling you've created with you into the rest of the day, the rest of the week ahead. And start to bow your head with a smile. Terrific work today, yogis. Thank you. So good to see all of you.